It's time to take a TO with coaches Turner and O'Neill. Produced by Kurtis Cross and engineered by DJ Krissy.
It's time to take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. Your new favorite podcast features conversation from the world of high school, college, and pro sports, along with other riveting content. Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Turner O'Neill Podcast and on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, or visit www.turnerando'neill.com. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, and more than 15 podcast platforms. We also invite you into the studio each week via YouTube. Subscribe and watch each episode on our YouTube channel at Turner O'Neill Podcast. Thanks to our premier partner, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage, our partners, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, Insurance Alliance Group, LLC, and Marquise Evans with Keller Williams Capital Properties. Our sponsors, O'Neill Development, LLC, Next Level Lacrosse, A Squared Home and Office Solutions, Collins Funeral Home, and Peace Players International. And our donors, Winsight Media and Gene the Barber with Max Life Barber and Salon. Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill is produced by Kurtis Cross and engineered by me, DJ Krissy. Now we welcome you to today's episode as we take a TO with coaches Steve Turner and Casey O'Neill. Here's your host, Kurtis Cross.
Welcome to Season 3, Episode 11 of Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. I am your host, Kurtis Cross, and of course, as always, I'm with Coach Steve Turner, Coach Casey O'Neill, and our engineer who makes us sound and look good is DJ Krissy. Our premier partner for Season 3 is Ray Cruz. And you sure you need to make up people? I mean, you look fine.
She got me looking good.
I mean, you're too sexy every week. You're the big brother. You got to be. Our premier partner for Season 3 is Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Ray Cruz is the only mortgage lender we endorse right here at Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. Ray Cruz is mortgage intelligently. We'd like to thank our partners, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, and Marquise Evans with Keller Williams Capital Properties. If you would like to become a partner, sponsor, or donor, go to any and all Season 3 episodes. Look in the show notes. We can get you signed up. Before we get into today's episode, gentlemen, how was your week? Coach O'Neill, talk to me.
Very busy week. Still building the business, the program, the academy. Spent a little time with the fam down by the water to see my sister.
Good for you.
And my parents. Of course, the dog takes up a lot of that time.
We have not gotten a dog update in a while. How big is she?
She's 90. She's 90 pounds at 9 months. Just turned 9 months.
Good
She's
Lord.
90 pounds, but she is a sweet, sweet heart. Actually, this morning playing with a little puppy, just treating it nice. Wasn't roughing too much. Just nice. She roughs with the dogs at her level. But
Her weight class.
I got to give a couple shout outs. Her weight class, very, very true. Very happy for my man Jeff King, who was an 11-year assistant with me, was named my successor. As
All
the
right
head coach
now.
of Gonzaga Lacrosse.
All right, big
He's
things.
earned it. He is humble. He is competitive. He is the man. And so I'm very, very happy for Coach King.
Congrats,
So
Mr. Jeff King.
Shout out to him, and the boys are getting, they are lucky to have him. And on kind of a sad note, but I'm going to make it as nice as I can. We went to a service for a young man who unfortunately passed away last week, a good friend of ours, nephew, and another friend of ours, son. And shout out to that family for getting up there and giving the eulogies. The mom and the dad gave the eulogies at that service, which is unheard of usually when a child unfortunately passes. And they gave me motivation. They gave me hope. And I just want to let them know, the Wood family, we love you. And we are praying and always here for you. So that was my week.
Your Take It to Your family is behind you.
Yep.
Thanks for saying that and giving them their props there. And congrats to Mr. Jeff King. Coach Turner, Team USA, sir. You just going to rock all the gear every week now?
I need some of that gear.
A little something.
All right. All right.
It's
Looks good on you.
What I had on. I told you I was coming in.
He
hot.
looks at the camera. He looks right into the camera when he's talking. He's looking right at himself, and it's for the.
He's
for the
admiring
audience.
himself.
It's for the audience.
That's not for the audience.
Give me a good side,
I
Steve.
mean,
It's all sides.
does Leah check the YouTube, or is she listening on the Spotify? On YouTube, are you looking right into her
she
eyes?
mixes it up.
Okay.
She
All
mixes it up. But good weekend. As I like to say, they're always short, but it was a good weekend.
All right.
workouts, had some coaches in. It's kind of cool. It's this Saturday. We had 3 schools came in to watch our guys, and all 3 guys were former Gonzaga players.
That's cool.
Good deal. Under you or in you and Dick?
None underneath me, all under Coach Myers.
Okay.
And Matt Miller over at the Mount and Mount St. Mary's, and Tom Devitt at Hartford, and Akbar Waheed at Georgetown.
We know Mr.
And
Waheed.
not planned, and just those happen to be the 3 schools. And then you got to remember, all 3 of them prior to the pandemic won their conferences. Remember, they were all 3 were conference champions to head to the tournament that we didn't have that year.
All right.
But all 3 of them in the last rounds all won their tournaments to head on to the tournament.
Good deal.
It's pretty cool. And then Sunday, we're up at Healthy Baller.
Oh, okay.
We Coach Blair and Coach West ran a combine for my guys so we could get some measurables, little agility runs, some 10-yard sprints, standing verts, some run and jump verts, little stuff on the bike, getting some times. They got some NBA plates where they can measure like whether or not you're prone for an injury based on the fact that maybe like on the right side you're overcompensating a lot when you jump and different things like that. So it was a great opportunity for our guys to go through that kind of a combine and for us to learn a little more that I can bring back to like our trainers at school to say,
sure.
Hey, in our workouts, you might want to be a little conscious of this young man because he tends to overcompensate this way or that way, and so on and so forth. And an opportunity for us to get some early measures before we go into the season, and hopefully we'll get to do it again to see what kind of growth these guys had over the next 6 weeks.
You act like you're getting ready for a season or something.
Oh, I'm definitely getting ready for a season. I'm getting ready for a season, no doubt.
All right, my man.
Bring him out.
DJ Krissy, talk to me about your weekend or week.
Oh, I had a little wedding.
Okay.
And then I had a little bit of pampering.
Okay.
Went and got my nails done.
All right.
Gotta love that.
That's a regular thing for you these days.
It is.
Good for you.
A little bit of football
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit of food prep for the week.
All right. So you good now.
I'm good now.
All right. Well, my week
I
was
can
great.
eat.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, you can definitely eat. You know what? Even if you can't eat, we're going to make sure she eats. I mean, we're going to do that. All right. My week was great. The highlights included Chelsea made the casting for school play, had a great workout at Pro Fit yesterday. Adam had an excellent basketball workout with Coach Tony Langley. And we had a great day yesterday watching NFL on the deck. And, well, one of us celebrated the win. Did you not see Paula walk in the studio earlier with a Buffalo Bills shirt, Buffalo Bill earrings, and Buffalo Bills Pegasus?
I just seen the pictures on Facebook where she's like ready to jab you up to let you know
Right?
her Bills are about to kick your Washington football team's butt.
You over there, you little brother, you called it into existence with a house divided. You called that last week.
Yes.
We are a house divided, but we can't be divided for so long. Buffalo got the best of us. They've got the experience. They look like they're ready to do some things.
They're better. They're just better.
Good football.
Sometimes you just lose to a better team, right? And that's what happened.
Ouch.
Let's hit our first break, and we'll be back with this week's headline. Kurt Cross here, producer of Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. For more than 20 years, I have seen Gene the Barber for my haircuts. I am proud to say that Gene the Barber is now the owner of a new shop, his own shop, Max Life Barber and Salon. Max Life is family-friendly with barbers and stylists for men, women, and children. Located at 6859 New Hampshire Avenue in Tacoma Park, Maryland, Max Life Barber and Salon is now the new home of Gene the Barber. Of course, you'll get Gene's signature service, but now Gene has several barbers to choose from. Schedule an appointment today by calling 240-687-7253 and tell Gene that the Take a TO team sent you.
Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill can be found on more than 15 podcast platforms. Listen to us on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. Tune in on your preferred podcast platform. Be sure to listen, subscribe, and spread the word. Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill records weekly with episode drops each Thursday at 11 a.m.
One Headline is brought to you by
Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. With a stellar reputation as an outstanding mortgage lender, Ray Cruz serves the lending needs of real estate professionals, builders, and individual homebuyers in Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia, Texas, California, Florida, Illinois, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Ray believes that integrity is the cornerstone of his business, and helping you achieve your home financing goals is his business. Located in the heart of Bethesda, Maryland, contact Ray P. Cruz today to get started. Your home mortgage or refinance options await. Call 301-761-2278 or visit raypcruz.com. Ray P. Cruz, mortgages intelligently.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. Welcome back to Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. Today's episode is brought to you by Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. I posted a graphic this week, 17 seasons in, 4 championships each. Sue Bird's salary is $215,000. LeBron's salary is $37 million. LeBron's bonus for the 2020 NBA title was more than Sue Bird's entire salary. None of us here is foolish enough to believe that the WNBA is more popular than the NBA. However, with such a gap in salaries, I'd certainly argue that Sue Bird is as meaningful to her team as LeBron is to his team. So what does it take for the WNBA, which is underwritten by the NBA, to gain the popularity needed for us to see a bit more equity? Now, for me, I am a fan of the WNBA. I'm a fan of women's basketball, college, and all women's sports. I'm not silly enough to believe that the WNBA with 8 teams should make as much money as the NBA. I get it. I definitely understand it. But where are we going wrong? You look at, the games they put on TV, at least, it looks like they're filled. Mm-hmm. The stands are filled. Coach Turner, Coach O'Neill, what does it take to not necessarily get Sue Bird $37 million a year, but what does it take for the 10th woman on the bench to not have a full-time job also?
Sorry, you want to go ahead?
No, go ahead. Feel free.
A couple things. I think you put your money where your mouth is, because we talk about it and we say it, but nothing really seems to happen.
Right.
And as we come into this next generation of young ladies who we've marketed and talked about, we haven't personally marketed, but had on this show. We talk about AZ Fudd and who's the other young lady? Kiki coming on in the next wave. But the NBA and the WNBA needs to put the money where their mouth is and actually continue to market these women the way they should be marketed. And then that's going to trickle down into sales, putting the commercials out there. It's going to trickle down to young ladies getting excited. And now, granted, it's not going to put as many butts in the seats as the NBA would have in their arenas. I get it. But it's going to continue to market and raise the bar just a little bit. They say they're doing it, but man, I don't see enough commercials with young ladies on there. Nike does a few, Adidas does a few, Gatorade, Under Armour, I don't think does enough. Gatorade, but you've got to continue to push the money in there. If you truly believe in it, and you might take a hit, you have to market these ladies.
And here's the thing, I look at it and, if the NBA does not think enough of the WNBA, then how do they expect the consumer to? And the reason I say that is because I pay $249 for the NBA package. The women's package is $39. They're not even, making me feel like they feel like it's important. They could get, I would pay $99. I don't think I'm the average person who wants to watch it, but I would pay more. They make me pay $39, but I will drop $250 to watch the men. I'll drop some money to watch women, but they're not making me do it. So why would I? I can't overpay. But Steve, your thought?
I certainly agree with everything that both of you have said. I think the next step is you've got some of these big names, LeBron and Kyrie, and guys who I think have done some things for the women, but I think it's time for them to stand up and talk.
Okay.
I think they've got to, they say they support the women. Well, I think you got to start talking to, they're the ones who are in those seats with those owners and have a greater opportunity to get them to understand that, it may not be equal pay, but they certainly deserve a lot more than what they're getting.
And they just got a raise in their bargaining agreement.
And you want it to be a situation where Diana Taurasi's not taking a season off from the WNBA because the money she makes overseas is greater than her to have to play at home. We want her playing at home.
And the Mercury or the team overseas paid her Mercury salary for her to be over there.
So that's where we want to lead. I think that's the next growth, is that those players should be paid enough to not have to play on 2 teams.
Right. And that's impact on their body.
Yes.
Right. It's you coach kids who play AAU, and you're like, when they get to you, sometimes you got to go to Healthy Baller to see where we're at. Right.
No, there's a way to make it happen, and they can, and they need to, and it's long overdue. These women have done a lot for that game, and they've put it into the market that it's in now, and it certainly still feels like it's behind.
And again, with 8 teams in the WNBA, we're not asking for Dinah's roster to get $37 million.
Right.
I'm not saying she's not worth it, but I know that.
But there's no doubt in my mind that she's worth more than $1 million.
Yeah. I know she's bringing that into the WNBA, right? So, none of us pay to go see the owners in the owner's box. We go to see Taurasi and Brittany Griner and Sylvia Fowles, who, by the way, won her 4th Defensive Player of the Year last week after playing 12, 14 years. Yeah. Like she's a monster, but that's who we pay to go see. I'm glad to know that you guys have put some thought into this as well in terms of how we can fix this. But now we got to get in the owner's boxes too, somehow.
I love to do
Put
that.
your money where your mouth is.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is your one headline. O'Neill Development is a custom builder in Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and the Eastern Shore. Recognized nationally as a premier builder, O'Neill Development has received awards for historic restoration and urban infill work. Committed to best practices in green building, O'Neill Development also provides support in budgeting, architect selection, and design development during the critical stages of planning. O'Neill Development, building, remodeling, and development since 1975. Find us at www.o'neilldev.com or call 301-840-9310.
Connect with us socially on Instagram and Facebook at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, on YouTube, just search Turner and O'Neill, then subscribe. And of course, you can visit our website at www.turnerando'neill.com.
Winsight Media delivers connections and intelligence to 4 of the fastest growing verticals: convenience retailing, grocery businesses, restaurants, and non-commercial food service through broad and cutting-edge platforms. No company is better positioned to meet the food industry's needs than Winsight. Connect with us at www.winsightmedia.com.
The Starting 5 is brought to you by...
From Washington, D.C. to Ocean City, Woodbridge to Columbia, Richmond to Virginia Beach, the hottest DJs are right here. The Mid-Atlantic Professional DJ Association.
Dynamic DJ Entertainment, the most experienced professional DJ service in the DMV. For 35 years, our DJ talent has been the energy behind more than 14,000 events. If you're planning your wedding, school dance, corporate event, Sweet 16, or any event, our talented team has the right mix of music and MC skills to bring the energy and turn any event into an epic event. In 35 years, our DJs have performed in front of more than 2 million guests in 26 states. Our services include dynamic DJ talent, karaoke, giant games, atmospheric effects, movie nights, and more. Contact us today and let's make your next event an epic event. Dynamic DJ Entertainment. Visit thepartybeginsnow.com or call 301-942-4500 to get the party started.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. The Starting 5. Welcome back to Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. The Starting 5 is brought to you by Dynamic DJ Entertainment. I'm your host, Kurtis Cross, and I'm with Coach Steve Turner. In case O'Neill missed you guys, by the way, we were all at home last week, so we are all back. Our engineer for this and every episode is DJ Krissy. We are up to our weekly Starting 5. But Coach O'Neill, I didn't get you a birthday gift, and Big Brother loves the Christmas gift he got. So on this show, we are going to have to present to you a birthday gift that will be a lot like what he got for Christmas. Look, you guys are going to get 5 questions. I'll ask each of you. You will have 30 seconds to answer each question. You can only defer 1 question per the Starting 5. And Krissy, if they go over their 30,
going to be?
The temptation, what's going to happen if they go over their 30?
I get it now. In studio, ding. Out of studio,
Wah, wah, wah. I mean, you could be like a doo-wop group or something,
Yes,
like a
sir.
barbershop quartet. Krissy will be on the soprano over there. All right, let's do it, fellas. Coach O'Neill,
Let's go.
the Lamborghini experience or a Blue Angels experience?
Blue Angels.
All right, Coach Turner.
Blue Angels.
Coaching their respective sports, who's better, Nick Saban, Phil Jackson, Gino, or Belichick? Coach Turner.
That's
Give me the names
Hall
again.
of Fame.
Nick Saban. That's a Mount Rushmore, right? Nick Saban, Phil Jackson, Gino, or Belichick?
I am going with Phil for one reason.
Mhm.
He has sustained it doing it with more than one team.
Down to the Albany Patroons in the CBA.
That's a good one.
So that's why I'm going there. Any one of those could be the answer.
Right.
But I'm going with him. That was the one way that I figured I could make a divide because he did it with multiple teams
And he got one with the Knicks too, I think. Coach O'Neill, what do you think?
as a player, right?
Yep. Nick
Bro,
Saban, Phil Jackson.
I immediately thought Nick Saban, but
Okay.
you know what? They pour so much money into Alabama and the things and the resources that he has. Belichick, we're kind of seeing that up. Tom Brady, that effect might have had something to go there.
Okay,
I
right.
totally agree with Steve on Phil Jackson because of the superstars. You talking Kobe, talking Scottie Pippen, talking Michael Jordan, talking Shaquille. But I'm going to go with Gino because he doesn't have the financial backing that those others had and has proven
and that
his
roster
success model
changes, right?
every single time. And one of the best
they
recruiters.
say.
Oh, all right. You're in a different kind of mood today, brother. All right. Well, let's go back to Coach O'Neill. Front row for Bruno Mars or Beyonce?
Definitely Beyonce.
Coach Turner.
Oh, Beyonce.
All right. Chrissy, I want you to take the next one. Let's go.
Ooh, my turn. 3 truths and 1 lie about DJ Krissy.
Whoop.
Whoa.
Who's going first? Or are we doing it together?
No.
Sir?
I don't know.
Just go for
You
it.
answer, and then she'll give you the
Oh,
answer.
All right.
So, all right. So, hold up. So you're giving us
3 truths, 1 lie.
and one's lie. We're
All
going to
right.
guess which it is.
Yes.
Yeah, what's the lie?
Which one
Yeah.
is the lie?
Okay.
Proceed.
I was interviewed and have appeared on the news. I had a cat named Bobby. I have been to a Nationals, Mystics, Redskins, or Washington football team, Wizards, and Caps game. I've DJ'd a victory ball for Governor Larry Hogan.
I mean, she ain't making it easy.
I will read those again.
I think.
I got him. You were on the
You got 'em
news.
all? Okay.
Okay.
Bobby Cat.
Bobby Cat.
All DC games. Been to
Bobby
every
Cat.
single DC game, right? All
Yes.
the
Not your
local teams.
fault.
And then you DJ'd for the
Governor
Larry
Hogan.
Hogan. Okay.
Yep.
You want to go first?
I'm gonna go with.
The lie is
I think the lie is that you haven't been to every sporting of the
Damn,
of
I was thinking the
Washington.
same thing.
okay.
I'm going with that.
That's where I was going to go.
I had
as
another
well.
one, but I'm going there.
All right. Coach O'Neill.
I was going to go with that, but I'm going to go with you had a cat named Bobby.
All
I
right.
don't know why.
I'm going to help
Probably
them out
did.
here. Chrissy, before I knew her, was in fact interviewed and has been on the news.
I figured that was right.
Chrissy did have a cat named Bobby.
I knew it.
And it was a girl.
Nationals, Mystics, Redskins, Wizards, and Caps. I've done all of those with Chrissy except the Caps game, but she has done all of them. She has never DJ'd for Governor Larry Hogan.
Wow.
That
Got
was
us.
the
She
lie.
got us.
She got you on
Governor
that one.
Hogan. What are you
And
waiting for?
That was my second choice because I said maybe she didn't do that because she is. a
Well,
DJ.
Governor Hogan
Right.
is.
But the sports, as she said, sometimes some of them don't appeal to her. I figured that might be the one.
I was going to say that's how we got reelected because DJ Krissy was there.
She was the good luck charm.
Yeah, just spinning the tunes.
Hey.
All right, Coach Casey, rapid fire for both of you. This is all about sports. One DC area coach you would bring back to coach again.
Oh, I've got to think about that one for a second. What do you think, Joe Gibbs? He already came back the second time.
I don't care.
We-
Bring him
we
back
already had
again. These Bamas we got.
What about Dusty?
Yeah, Dusty. Okay.
All right, name the area team who is the biggest disappointment.
Washington football.
College or pro, best area basketball player, past or present.
Lenny Bice.
Player who was the biggest disappointment.
I'll go. There's how many? Who was the dude for the Washington football? The Redskins, big number 92. That came Hainsworth.
Hainsworth?
Bama.
All right. Best area, arena, or stadium?
In local or everywhere?
Here in this area.
Repeat the question quickly. Sorry.
Best area, arena, or stadium?
I think the area is the down by the new Nats Park in the DC United.
Okay.
Stadium.
Howdy.
Audi Field?
It was sweet. Yeah. And
All
the
right.
guy we're about to talk to was just winning a big old championship in that
He
field.
sure was. He sure was. Coach Turner, it's all about sports for you. Best player you ever coached against locally? Because you've coached Team USA, so not abroad, but locally. Who gave you fits? Who did you have to really game plan for?
Chris, right?
Nah. He's up there though. And I game planned for him early in his career. I know I'm gonna get a ding because I'm telling the story now. He got me back. Early we shut him down. Like he hated. Like we wouldn't Stanley Hodge, like treating him like little brother. But then when Stanley graduated and he became a big boy, he got his 40. Go ahead, you can ding. It's okay. But tough. It has to be a local player.
Yeah. You're stumping Coach Turner.
It's been some darn good ones. So
Give me a few.
I'm going to say most recently, Casey Marcel.
Okay. Animal, right? I called his games, right?
Even in the games we beat him, he found a way to put up numbers on us.
Yeah.
All right. Public school, who you believe puts together a stellar program consistently?
In my sport or in any sport?
I like your sport, but if you got one that jumps out at you otherwise.
If I go, I'll go with two. How about that?
Okay.
QO in football.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Eleanor Roosevelt basketball.
Okay. Local coach who does not get his or her just due.
I'm going to go with, on the women's side, Mike McCarthy.
Okay. Away gym that you enjoy coaching in the most.
There's a lot of those.
Okay.
For me, and because of the rivalry, man, give me SJC on a bandbox night, sweaty floor, and we kicking their butts.
All right. Besides Gonzaga, this may be the same answer that you just answered. Besides Gonzaga, who has the best fans?
I hate to admit this. I hate to admit this. Y'all can all say it. I hate to admit this, but pound for pound, it's gotten they're getting close to our guys, and it's because they've got a combination. I'm gonna say PVI when they're at home.
I was thinking about
Okay.
that.
I don't know why I was thinking he would say Sidwell.
But by the way, Barry Trotz, bring Barry Trotz back, wins the Stanley Cup, and they get rid of him.
I'm a
PVI, huh?
I'm gonna say PVI.
All right. All
Barry
right.
Trotz. Barry Trotz.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is your starting five. The starting five. A Squared Home and Office Solutions is the go-to source for home or office network and audio-visual solutions. We can help with smart home integration, wireless networking, media rooms, security systems, and more. We will link technology to your lifestyle seamlessly. Read our reviews online. Visit homeandofficesolutions.com for more info or call 240-356-8832. A Squared Home and Office Solutions. We are home advisor, screened, and approved.
Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill would like to thank our friends of the program: Thomas Alford, Melissa Alshab, Margie Billings, Adam Cross, Chelsea Cross, Paula Cross, Lynn Johnson, Erica O'Neill, Sean Parker, Kathleen Talbot, Andrea Tarones, Timothy Whittier. If you'd like to become a friend of the program, go to www.turnerandoneil.com and click Become a Friend. Collins Funeral Home has served families of Greater Washington with compassion and kindness since 1939. Our friends John and Terry McHugh carry on this family tradition into the third generation. The McHugh brothers, along with their experienced funeral directors and caring staff, are ready to assist you at any time. Whether you have experienced a loss, need to make plans in advance, or simply have a question, please contact them to discuss how they can assist at your time of need. Visit collinsfuneralhome.com or call 301-593-9500.
This segment of Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill is sponsored by World Class Training, locations in Rockville, Maryland and Alexandria, Virginia. Performance training and physical therapy. That's what you'll find at Healthy Baller. Hi, this is Kurt Cross, producer of Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. Paula and I have our 13 and 11-year-old children training with the wonderful crew at Healthy Baller Rockville. Healthy Baller has created a customized training experience for our kids, and we are super pleased with the results. Their excellent training and dedication to each athlete is apparent from your first consultation through the ongoing training sessions. Paula and I can personally attest to the results. Become your own success story. They offer group and team training, individual workouts, or semi-private training in Rockville and Alexandria. Call 844-622-5537 or visit healthyballer.com.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us today via the Healthy Baller Hotline is the assistant coach with the PLL champion Chaos Lacrosse Club. As the defensive coordinator for the Chaos, Ryan Kurtis is also the associate director of college counseling and the head lacrosse coach at the Westminster School. A national championship winner at UVA, Coach Kurtis also earned first-team NCAA All-American twice as a Cavalier. He went on to play 8 years in the MLL and was a 5-time All-Star. Joining us to take a TO today, please welcome PLL champion coach, Mr. Ryan Kurtis. Coach Kurtis, how's it going, sir?
Going great. No complaints.
Right. I hear you are a Landon guy, by the way.
Yes, sir.
All right, our son Adam is a Landon guy as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a friend to Casey O'Neill. We enjoy having you, gentlemen. Why don't you greet Coach Kurtis?
Ryan, Casey here, man. Good to see you. Good to have you on here. I really appreciate it. And you got a busy schedule, but Coach Kurtis and I go way back. We played PBC, Potomac Boys Club football together when what were we, fourth grade maybe?
Wow.
Ryan was a little bigger, a little faster. I want to be a running back, so they said, well, if you want the ball, then maybe go block for him and let him hit the hole there and turn himself.
I think we were running like the triple I think.
We were. Never know what number whose number was gonna get called, but certainly he was running through some dudes a little bit more than I was. But good to see you, man. Really, really proud of everything you've done in your entire lacrosse career, but most especially last weekend out at Audi Field. So thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks. Great to see you, Case.
Brian, Steve Turner here, man. Just congratulations to you. Hats off to what you guys just accomplished, and just say thanks, man. Thank you for coming on with us tonight.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, today, I'm asking the wrong question. We are still buzzing about the way the Chaos took down the 2-time defending champion Whipsnakes. For me, the rookie PLL fan of this group, what I absolutely noticed was how your team was able to neutralize Zed Williams and Matt Rambo. They were putting up unbelievable numbers in the playoffs. The previous 2 games, I think they accounted for, and throughout the season, 20% of their team's offense. Was this your game plan from the word go? I mean, you neutralized Zed and Rambo. No one had done that. So talk to me about that, please.
Yeah, I mean, we start every game plan, with the same approach. We are going to try, and try is the key word here in this league, try to take away the knowns. These teams are loaded, and we knew that in the case of the Whipsnakes, I mean, played them previously in the year, lost them last year in the championship game, that everything really runs through those 2 attackmen. They're, 2 of the best, if not the best attackmen in the world. And very lucky to have some of the defensemen that I have to work with. And we put a plan in place to really try to make the other 4 guys on their offense beat us, and just said, listen, If one of their, and I don't say this in a negative term because these guys are excellent players, but if one of their secondary offensive players has to score 6 goals to beat us, then that's what they're going to have to do. And the guys did a great job of taking that plan, putting it into place. Some little small adjustments that we put in right before the game. The guys did a great job of taking that and running with it. We don't get a ton of time to practice, so it is reliant on them understanding stuff and being smart players, which they are. And you can sit down with them, show them film, explain to them what you want them to do, and at the end of the day, they're good enough to just go out and execute.
Wow.
Ryan, Casey here. So we get psyched about local guys, and obviously on that defense, you got a couple local guys, and I believe Johnny Surdick and Jack Roulette, who are DMV guys, and I think it starts and stops with Blaze, right? You got maybe an MVP in the net there, but where I want to take this question is growing up here locally, and just want to ask you about some of your idols. Obviously, you were coached by one of the most famous high school coaches of all time, and Rob Boardley, and then you went on and you had Coach Dom Starsia. But are there any other people that when you were growing up that you looked up to that maybe steered you towards the defensive end and were people that were just your mentors?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I've been very lucky to play for the guys that I've played for, like you said. Coach Boardley really at the beginning, Coach Starsia, his staff throughout my 4 years. But probably the guy that made the decision that started me down this path was Jack Crawford, who used to be the assistant coach at Landon and coached the 8th grade team and was the varsity assistant. And I was a midi when I got to Landon, and I was not a very good one. And Coach Crawford, he actually I was kind of a little chubby kid with a huge helmet, and he actually called me Lord Helmet from the Spaceballs movie. And does to this day. I'm 43 now, and he still calls me Lord Helmet.
Oh wow!
But he, in a very nice way, where it took me until I was an adult to look back and be like, "Hey, wait a minute." He said, I think you might be better trying something else. And he gave me a long stick, and I think maybe we were missing some guys. He kind of put me in, gave me a pull. That's kind of where it started. And,
that's cool.
And wouldn't have gotten that shot without him. Maybe he was just trying to hide me someplace else because it wasn't working where I was. But yeah, he was great. And then having him as an assistant coach when I did move up to varsity, and I've been really lucky. I've played with some great guys, people that make you better. I've had a lot of coaches who really influenced my own coaching style, where that they really let me try to figure out what my style was. They didn't try to make me something that I wasn't. And, I think that helped me a lot, certainly with coaching. The guys that I coach now, they're excellent. I've got 3 of the top couple guys. You got to let them kind of do their thing to be successful.
Yeah.
Ryan, Steve here. I'm a big fan of the long pole. I've got a son who plays the position. Best position. And he loves it. I think he loves more being able to crush guys and lay them out across the crease than anything. But definitely I'm a huge fan of lacrosse, and as a basketball coach, there's a lot of things that are very similar in the two games. So I spend a lot of time watching a lot of college lacrosse. During the playoff time of the NBA, I probably watch more lacrosse than I watch basketball. Mm-hmm. But the question I have for you, the question I really was going to ask, you kind of talked about it, is the influences on you as a coach. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about being in a position to coach pros and be an assistant coach, and then to be a head coach of high school kids. Yep. Talk to me what the difference is for you in those two positions, where you are the D coordinator, so you are kind of controlling things from one aspect, but then when you're the head coach, you're controlling a little bit of it all. Yeah. Talk to us some of the differences and how you're able to change the seats and still be able to be who you are in the positions that you're in those two positions?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, there are things I love about both. I hadn't been an assistant in a while, and to just focus solely on positional coaching and that group of guys was just neat. It's kind of getting back to why'd you get into coaching? You love the sport, you love the X's and O's. I'm kind of a film nerd, so I'm doing all the film and cutting that stuff up. And when I was a college head coach, assistants were doing that, and you were dealing with, it felt like at times everything but actually just coaching your guys. And it's been nice. It's been, I don't know how to say it other than it's been so much fun. Being able to just do that with these guys. But then, the things I love about being a head coach is you're involved with all aspects of it. And you do get to be at both ends of the field. You work with the face-off guys, you're working with goalies, you're getting to know all those guys. And you have a lot more input on culture and direction of the program. I'm very fortunate. Andy, the head coach of the Chaos, Andy Towers, and I have very similar ideas about that kind of stuff. And so I didn't have to worry about it at all. Where, as a head coach, it's certainly coming into a new program like I did in Vermont, and then coming into a new program here at Westminster. You spend so much more time on that stuff. It's like the 10% of your time is actually just getting out on the field and coaching guys, and that's the part I love. So I still get to do both, but with the Chaos, it's just I don't have to worry about calling timeouts. I don't have to worry about anything. I can make fun of our offense. I keep count of how many times we beat our offense in practice, and that's the fun stuff.
I would imagine Coach Towers is the first coach you've worked with whose arms might be bigger than yours. He's an
enormous human. Enormous human.
The biggest bicep.
I mean, who can bench press more though? Who can bench press more?
Oh my gosh, Andy.
All right, Coach, look, today's game in terms of popularity has evolved from 10 years ago, even 20 years ago. We are seeing increased media coverage, which no doubt contributes to the PLL's popularity. In your opinion, where is the game going? What's the ceiling for the PLL and maybe lacrosse in general? It's the fastest growing sport. I can't ever not know that because Coach O'Neill tells me every week it's the fastest growing sport. Yeah. But I mean, 5 years ago, I didn't even know what a long pole was. This guy introduces it to me, and it's on every Sunday, and I can watch it, and I can watch it in HD. I can watch instant replays. Like, it's not like they're undercutting the budget. You guys are getting major coverage. What's the ceiling here?
I don't think we're even close to be honest with you. I think the biggest change that I've noticed in, since I was in high school, even, my dad was a football player, and he, lacrosse was the preppy sport my brother and I played. My dad went to Richmond Montgomery High School and was a football player, never heard of lacrosse. And, I thought it was, just kind of this preppy sport. And now you see, it's like you can't turn around with seeing a story about an NBA guy or an NFL guy who was also a lacrosse guy or was one before the other. And, I think having Hogan in our league briefly before going out and I think scoring a touchdown for the Saints, maybe I think it was. You listen to him talk about his experience in the PLL, and he's like, these guys are like, they're legitimate athletes. And
right.
When you have a very successful NFL receiver saying that, I think it gives a little more credit to the types of guys that are playing our game. I mean, you look at Miles Jones, that guy looks like an NFL tight end, and that's where the sport is going. I think as it's introduced to more parts of the country, as you get more kids that are willing to try it, that are football first guys, but you know what, maybe I will try this in the spring. Lacrosse for me, for most of my life, was the thing I did in the spring. But it's, you start playing it, it's fun. It's really fun. And I think as more kids start playing it in, the non-lacrosse areas of the country, they enjoy playing it.
I have to say kudos. I mean, Coach O'Neill brought this up, but kudos to the PLL and the guys who play lacrosse who are making an effort to introduce the sport to people who don't look like them, who aren't your traditional preppy kids. So I think that's, you can tap all the resources you want, but there's some untapped resources, and I think the PLL is finding them. Coach O'Neill.
So I want to go back to that diversity of the game, which is growing, and the diversity that the kids growing up. I think a lot of lacrosse players, Steve mentioned it before, playing other sports. I mean, we had Kyle Harrison on here and Tom Schreiber. Heck, the NFLPA president, Morris Smith, his son plays for the University of Maryland. I mean, he loves the sport of lacrosse. Yeah. Talk a little bit, because you recruited in college. You're working with high school kids now, and obviously you're working with the best of the best. But talk about how important it is for kids to play other sports like you did. You played football. I'm sure you did. I don't know what you did. You play basketball? You wrestle?
I wrestled, yeah.
How important that is, that for the young kids to hear this, because it's such a big deal here in the DMV, but we want kids to play multiple sports.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like I'm at this point of transition in my life where kids used to think I was kind of like cool when I was still playing, and so they'd listen to what I say, but now I don't play. I'm just like this old guy who's saying this thing. And like, everyone says that. But I do believe 100% that we are unfortunately getting a little too close to a place where kids and families, parents, feel like their path is through specialization. And I know I never played basketball, but to Coach Turner's point, when I was at UVM, my offices were right next to the basketball offices. And I learned so much from those guys about zone offense and zone defense and the stuff that they were doing and how they're teaching that to their guys. I can tell you with 100% confidence that if I had not played football, I would not have done the things that I did in lacrosse. As a linebacker, learning your angles and all that kind of stuff helped me as a lacrosse player. I think, like I said, I think we're kind of dangerously close to a point where kids think that they have to focus on one thing to succeed at it, and I do think they're limiting themselves. We had actually a Division III basketball player come out for our team last year. He was already committed. He hadn't played lacrosse in years. He was able to pick up our ride. He was a defensive midi for us. He was able to pick up our ride in the first day because he just understood the spacing. And kids that have been in lacrosse clubs since they're like third grade, I'm having the same conversations with them. Yeah. They don't have that athletic IQ that guys that have played different sports have. I think it's hugely important. I know how important it was to me. I've seen how easy it is, or how much easier it is to coach guys who have played a lot of different sports, which sounds kind of counterintuitive that a kid who's been playing lacrosse his whole life can sometimes be harder to coach in lacrosse. But I don't think, and there's a lot of outward pressure. These families hear a lot of different things. There's so many pay for play options. I mean, when you and I were coming up, there weren't club teams. There weren't, you like played tackle football in your neighborhood during the summer, and then football started. So it worries me, to be honest with you. I run clinics for little kids, and I'll always ask when I'm trying to compare something to another sport, raise your hand if you played, basketball or football or soccer, whatever. And, fewer and fewer hands go up. And I think they're missing out on the opportunity. They're also, the burnout rate it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Play a sport, it end, you go into your next sport, you're really excited about it. That would end, go into your next sport, really excited about it, and then kind of goes over, or it starts over. I think for these kids, I just see in lacrosse where it's almost like the competitive nature is going down a little bit because there's an opportunity to play so much. It's like, I lost today, but I've got 57 more games between the summer and the fall. So I'll get one of those, I guess. Like for us, it was like you had your 12 high school games, and that was it. And
that was it.
They meant something.
Everyone meant something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ryan, two-part question here. Who was the biggest influence on your life? And what is the message that they gave you that stands true to the man you are today?
Oof. Gosh, I wish I was one of those like 2 days ahead. We'll give you the question. Man, probably my mom. I think, my mom's message. From probably the time I started playing sports. Well, I wouldn't say that. Probably from the time I started playing sports and it looked like I might be decent at sports, was you're a lot more than that, and to not forget that. She's a very religious woman, and she didn't want all of that other stuff to sort of influence who I was as a person, and that's kind of always a message. I'll never forget the Washington Post doing a story on us. I think the year we won the national championship, and her whole thing with the reporter was, I'm not going to talk about the athletics. I'm going to talk about all the other stuff. And all the other stuff, which is, the stuff that a mother loves a son about, was super embarrassing for a junior in college who thought he was pretty big time. But that was just kind of the message, stay humble and realize that that's not all you are, and you're not going to be that forever. That part of it doesn't last forever. And I think who I am as a parent and as a person, I owe all that to her.
Thanks. Coach O'Neill.
Yeah, I love that answer, because way too many times you just see labels of kids, and they're more than just those labels of a lacrosse player or what college or high school they go to. And that answer was outstanding. My last question, Ryan, flat out, who's the best guy you ever guarded?
Man, that's also a really good question.
I know there's a lot. You might have even played with them.
I've been fortunate, I guess, to play at a time when there were a lot of really good offensive players. I mean, not that there aren't now, but man.
Or I could rephrase it. You saw that, on the matchup sheet, Dom or somebody, or even in the pros, and they're like, Kurtis, you got so and so, and you were like, OS, like, this is gonna be an afternoon here.
Don't take this the wrong way. I never felt that way.
Oh, my man.
But that doesn't mean there weren't really hard guys to cover and guys that I knew would be tough. I guess I never approached the game worried about a matchup. Maybe that's the better way to say it.
Good.
But I honestly found some of the hardest guys to cover were guys, maybe guys that people haven't heard about as much, guys like Dan Danahan at Hopkins, guys that were just sort of relentless in that they didn't care how many times you won the matchup. They were just going to keep coming at you. Because there were some very good attackmen that I covered that if it was going my way, they kind of stopped, towards the end of the game. They were deferring to other people, or they were moving the ball. Guys like Dan, guys like AJ Hogan in the midfield. These were guys that they didn't care. They were going to keep going at you. And, if you won the matchup 6 out of 10 times, they were making something happen 4 out of 10 times. And that was their mentality. And those guys were tough. They never let you get comfortable.
That's a great answer.
Coach Turner.
All right, I'm going to take you away from lacrosse because I'd like to hear something different.
All right.
Greatest moment in your life, non-lacrosse related.
Besides
Easy.
being on our podcast.
Yeah, right.
Oh, darn it. No, my kids being born, coolest thing ever. My daughter was born when I was still playing professionally, and it was funny. I was a little bit older. These younger guys coming into the league, and I quickly became, that guy with a kid, and which was kind of funny. and I played a certain way, and I think there was a certain way I've thought of as a player, and then all of a sudden my daughter was born, and she's in her little skirt on the field with me, and I'm nervous when the cannon goes off and we score that she's going to get scared. I remember telling my wife that, the first time I was in a game and the cannon went off, and I was thinking about my daughter Morgan. That was probably time for me to hang it up. So, but no, it's she's a sophomore in high school now. Which is
Wow.
Yeah, my kids. Easy answer.
Easy answer. Huh? So, Coach, we're going to let you off the hook. Those are the tough questions, but here's the fun. We're going to have some fun here. One question. We have something here on the podcast called the Starting Five. This is where I ask each of these coaches 5 questions. They get 30 seconds each to answer these questions. Now, for you, we're only going to ask you one question, but here's the problem. No guest we've ever had has ever gone beyond the 30 seconds. So we need you. We're like 50, 60, 70 episodes in. We need you to keep that streak up. Krissy, tell him what happens if he does go over the 30 seconds. That's what happens.
Right.
So we don't want you to get the ding. Coach, look, this is what we have for you. Your question is as follows. Our podcast team is headed to karaoke night. You are going with us. You're going to be the first one to sing. Which song does Coach Kurtis dial up to tear down the house?
Hungry, Temple of the Dog.
Okay, that was easy. I mean, now that might be the record. That might be a record.
That definitely is the record.
We've had some quick ones, but this man is on it.
He was on it. I love it.
Temple of the Dog. Okay, I got you, Coach. Look,
it's a good one. It's a good one.
It
worked with my range.
Okay, I got you. Now, would Morgan agree, or does Morgan not want to hear you sing?
I think deep down inside she would agree. She just would never admit it.
Right.
Good stuff.
All right, Coach, we want to thank you for taking the TO with us today. Please tell our audience how they can connect with you, your program at Westminster, the Chaos, or whoever on social media, please.
Honestly, at Westminster, the easiest way to do is just to look us up on the internet, and you can find all of our information. If you're looking for information about just the school in general, if you're looking for information about the lacrosse program, if you want to find me, it's actually for a high school website, which some of them can be kind of hard to navigate. It's a great resource if you're looking for really any information about our school.
All right. And look, we need you to defend that crown. The Whip Snakes did it twice. We need you to defend that crown. I need him to do me a favor, because the PLL declined my request for a press credential at Audi Field. So if you could put in a word for us, I'd love to cover the PLL at some point. We've had probably 8 to 10 episodes dedicated to guys in the PLL. We're trying to cover it. Look, we really appreciate you being here, taking the TO with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, taking the TO, thanks to the PLL champion assistant coach with the Chaos Lacrosse Club, the guy who took care of Zed Williams and Matt Rambo. I mean, he neutralized them.
Not scared of him.
Coach Ryan Kurtis, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Hey,
really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Man, another PLL interview, another success. But the guy sets records for answering karaoke questions.
That was quick. He was on it.
You know what? I want to chop this up
dog.
right now, but we can't because we got to go to commercial. But we're going to chop this up as soon as we get back. Krissy, please take us to break. Next Level Lacrosse. Train like a Spartan. Next Level Lacrosse is dedicated to providing a terrific lacrosse experience that is intensely focused on player development and character formation. Players at all levels will improve significantly through professional coaching and carefully designed training programs. We stress proper technique and a tireless work ethic. From beginning programs to rec leagues, travel clubs to summer programs, we develop the young and experienced athletes alike. Next Level Lacrosse has a rich tradition of running the best middle and high school lacrosse leagues in the DMV area. You'll find us at www.nextlevelspartans.com or call 240-497-1460.
We invite your questions, comments, and show ideas. Simply go to www.turnerandoneal.com and click Submit Your Idea.
Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. We'd like to thank our partners, sponsors, and donors. Our premier partner, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Our partners, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, the Insurance Alliance Group LLC, and Marquise Evans of Keller Williams Capital Properties. Our sponsors, O'Neill Development LLC, Next Level Lacrosse, A Squared Home and Office Solutions, Collins Funeral Home, and Peace Players International. And our donors, Winsight Media, and Gene the Barber, now Max Life Barber and Salon.
This segment of Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill is sponsored by...
If you're buying or selling your home, start your journey. Your goals plus our expertise equals success. Welcome to Keller Williams Capital Properties. Let us work with you to find and purchase the home of your dreams. Working with us guarantees you the local knowledge and market information you need. We are local experts with a reputation for excellence. We're here to help guide you through every step of the process with expert advice and representation. For more information, contact Marquise Evans at 301-357-5608 or visit www.yourmyagent.com. Keller Williams Capital Properties and Marquise Evans. www.yourmyagent.com.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill.
We are back with Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. Thanks for listening and watching as we enjoy meeting you here each week. This segment's partner is Marquise Evans and Keller Williams Capital Properties. Off script, something I thought of. I was leaving a gig the other night. I drove past Turkey Thicket, Michigan Avenue, right below Catholic University. You know what I did see that Casey would appreciate? Turkey Thicket is where I first saw Donald Hodge. It's where guys would climb up. This is where I fell in love with basketball. They'd climb the pole and turn the lights on at night to keep playing. Everybody wants to get next. I sat there. I couldn't hang with those guys. I watched it. That very court is still there. Next to it, there are lacrosse goals on the field. I've never seen that before. This is what you talked about, Coach O'Neill, how Rabel and his brother want to go around to every place. I'm not saying they put those there, but I'm saying we're talking about a historically Black neighborhood in a non-historically Black sport, but there are lacrosse nets on the field because these are not soccer nets. They're much smaller. And I drove that just Thursday night. I saw that. And I thought of you. I should have texted you a picture of that. But that's what we're talking about with this sport. Now, I am not going to go on record and say lacrosse is a trailblazing sport, and I don't know enough about it. I imagine it probably is, but that's what, and everyone we talk to is talking about that diversity and talking about putting sticks, Harlem lacrosse. I think that's so right. And talking about putting sticks in the hands, I think that's one of the reasons why sports, as we grew up, there was just so much, not division, kids hated kids, but, you know, when I saw a lacrosse stick, it was white kids doing it. You know, and when you saw, you know, other sports, golf, you saw white kids doing it. But I think lacrosse is making itself a sport that is cool to play no matter who you are. So thanks to the lacrosse community for doing that. Anyway, this guy, Ryan Kurtis, is something, huh? He's a stone face.
He was great.
He's stone face, but I love talking to that guy. What do you think, Steve?
He was great. And, you know, I know we talk about in after coming back from a break, the message, man, he hit me. Mom, huh? Mom, like mom's words, and that they stand true. And he there was no hesitation that she told him, be grounded, be humble.
Right.
And I'm sure that's the message he's relaying to the kids that he's coaching today, and certainly probably even to the men that he coaches today.
Coach O'Neill.
A lot of things stood out there, and it's very surreal to sit there and see a guy that I grew up with.
Yeah,
playing sports, right? We started in Pee Wee football and played against each other in lacrosse, and then throughout high school. And Landon was the team to beat, right? And there's this guy, Ryan Kurtis, who's this incredible defenseman, but just turned it into a career. Coaching in college, coaching high school, coaching pro.
Played at UVA.
Played for Dom Starja. Well, you know, national champion. But just, I agree with Steve. You go back to the model of him saying that his mother was his, you know, was that person, and to keep him grounded and to keep him not just labeled as this athlete, because that's a tough thing to do in a family when your father was a all-pro linebacker and a professional football player, and these young boys go on and kind of carve their own path, and super athletic and talented. But what really struck me, outside of a lot of things that he said, was going back to when he was, what do you call him, from the Spaceballs?
What was it, Chris?
Big helmet or something? I can't believe I missed it. Anyway, so
Lord Helmet.
Yes, but he goes back to being kind of this, he was a smaller kid, the big head, the big helmet, and man, it's just, I think we're so quick to push kids, and he was saying this, to push kids to one sport or do this. But if we give them a time to develop and grow, like they turn into Ryan Kurtis, like a national champion, a badass lacrosse coach, he was on the Team USA. I mean, there's not much this
every
dude
level
didn't do. So just fun to see him, fun to connect, and his message was straight up gold.
What I got from what he said was I'm a little disappointed because he said that fewer hands go up when he asks kids during his clinics or camps, what are the sports, who plays basketball, who does this, because there is so much specialization. Well, as we know, putting all your eggs in one basket, might not be the best thing for anyone, but you want to see the kid that plays a different sport so they get different agility, they get a different skill set, they're allowed to think in critical situations.
I think
it makes it fresh and fun.
I think the kids still want to do that.
I think they're only doing what the adults are making them. There you go.
No, I don't even know that they're making them do it. I think we've become in this generational gap right now, it's all about the Joneses. And we've gotten scared as parents of my kid being left behind if he doesn't
also play
if he doesn't do what Johnny's doing. If Johnny's going 365, Billy needs to be going 365.
Right.
And I don't think that's the case. I think if you're good enough and talented enough, you will be found and you will have those same opportunities. You just have to continue to put the work in.
Yeah.
I think it's a blessing to still see certain kids who are multi-sport athletes or certainly multi-activity kids. Doesn't have to be just playing a sport. You could be playing a sport and also doing the play. But we don't see that.
You've seen some of those kids come through our street, right?
Yeah, but we're seeing a major drop off in that, and I think it's a shame. And I wish parents would just allow for these kids to just ride it out and live their dream,
explore what they want, right?
I know it's hard because you want to make sure that your child gets to go to the school that you want them to go to or that they want to go to, and you think they got to be here for any and everything. But coaches are going to recognize talent, and if you're good enough, they're going to find you.
So if there's a 30 PPG kid that plays at Landon, or if he plays at Gonzaga, if he's really got talent, he's going to get fouled.
Oh no!
And if there's a girl who can spike a ball in volleyball like no one else, whether she goes to PVI or whether she goes to Blair, they're going to find her. There's going to be an opportunity.
It's funny because to me, in a time where it's probably easier to be found, social media,
right?
No one does multi-sports, but back when there was none. Everybody played 2 or 3 sports.
You had no exposure, right?
And they were found.
Right.
So I have this model that, and I don't think I've said it on the podcast. It's called 40 to 4 in 8. Okay. 40 to 4 in 8.
You said that in season 1. I remember hearing that. Yeah.
So
talk about
to the audience, the 40 was the general number of kids that came in as freshmen to play lacrosse and specialize. And I'm a lacrosse player. I'm going to skip to the 8. The 8 is your 4 years of high school and your 4 years of college equals 8. The 4 in the middle, so 40 to 4, is historically the number of kids that are still playing after 8 years. So 40 goes to senior day. There's maybe 12 on average. Maybe 10 of them go to play college lacrosse. Well, injuries, coach leaves. They don't like to coach. They transfer. Boom, 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 boom. They're just worn out and done. Usually about 4 of them in 8 years. That was the numbers I took. We're still playing and giving mom a senior day in college. Wow. So what is the point of all that is embrace all the different sports, enjoy the ride with your child. I love, Kurtis, that Adam and Chelsea do multiple different things. I love that Jared has grown up playing multiple sports and still to this day, he was going to come back and play lacrosse. I love that Cole did it. I love that Chelsea's doing the play. That is so important for the mindset of these kids and not bogging them down. So Ryan touched on it. He's a PLL champion coach, and just for them to be kids. If you're going to specialize, specialize when you get to be a little bit older. Because you know what? Once college is over, 99.9% of us have to be adults and working in the real world and are not going to be pro.
Well, here's the thing. We want
live it and enjoy it.
We want these kids to make sure if it ain't sports, they can go pro in something else.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Go pro in the Venco program. Mm-hmm. Make sure you can go pro as an AD. Or now we're talking about, oh boy, it's escaping me. I'm sorry, you changed careers. The academy.
Yeah,
Mabry Academy,
man.
Okay, I don't know how to escape.
Holistic mental health, mental athletic
but make
performance.
sure you have a plan B, and you can. And we talk about. I mean, we're going back to our Notre Dame guy who had to have a plan B. A lot of the guests you've had on here. Just make sure. A lot of these athletes. I'm looking at Venus on the screen or Serena on the screen right now. She went pro in tennis, but not everybody will.
And Coach Kurtis, he told the story. He saw his daughter up there. He was now more concerned with the cannon at the Boston Cannon games when they scored a goal or a good stop went off. Is my daughter? He's like, I got to do something different.
Those are MLL days,
goes
right?
and coaches in college. Now he's working after a college career of coaching, goes and works at a high school. Now he's doing PL. I mean, the kids got to have, they need to have balance in their lives, and they need to be able to adjust.
Be flexible.
Exactly.
Yeah, be flexible and have those options in front of you. Thanks for bringing them on, Coach O'Neill.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for supporting it, Krissy, and our crew here. But we are coming right back with some more sports talk. Let's go. Building your brand is an important part of your business growth. By advertising with Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill, you'll gain the exposure and brand recognition behind our podcast. From season to season, we retain 92% of our advertisers. With category exclusivity, your business will benefit from our popularity online and during the podcast. Advertising with Turner and O'Neill equals exposure on Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, and more than 15 listening platforms total. Inquire today and let's partner to build your brand.
At Peace Players, we use the power of sport to unite, educate, and inspire young people to create a more peaceful world. We offer support programming, peace education, and leadership development to those living in communities in conflict. We challenge the hate that is driven by the fear of our differences. We bridge divides between people through the game of basketball, and we develop young leaders who help to change perceptions. Find out more at www.peaceplayers.org.
This segment of Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill is sponsored by
Insurance Alliance Group manages the gap between damage appraisal estimates from your insurance company and what you are rightfully owed based on your policy. They work on behalf of policyholders with claim assistance and disputes to maximize claims. Insurance Alliance Group serves as professional advisors and trusted advocates. The Insurance Alliance Group handles business and home property loss. Request a free claim review with the property loss professionals. Insurance Alliance Group. Visit us at insurancealliancegroup.com or call 866-574-4773.
portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill.
Welcome back to Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. This segment's partner is the Insurance Alliance Group, LLC. Let's talk about it.
Next question. I'm looking at the script. Get out the way. It's Redskins. Get out the way.
Well, they got out the way. They were not in Buffalo's way at all
was
yesterday.
The defensive line trying to get in the way? Or were they like, Jared Allen, or that's his name, right? No, did I say Josh Allen? Josh Allen. Damn, why do I say Jared? I mean, he's
the offensive player of the week.
Like,
we're supposed to have a good defense. What the hell happened, Coach Turner?
They mollywopped us.
They laid an egg, didn't they?
They laid an egg.
Mollywop.
All right. Rams moving
along.
Rams handled the Bucks.
They manhandled them.
Yeah,
they did. But you know what? It's games like that. When we saw the Packers go down week 1.
Okay, here you go.
I am.
All I asked was
Nostradamus over here.
All I said was
Packers are gonna be fine. Bucks went down. I saw the fire in Tom's eyes on that sideline.
Can we turn this camera off? All I asked in week 1 is there a reason to worry? You said no, and we're good. You making it seem like we said the Packers going 0-16 or 17.
Rams look really good.
Yeah, they do.
I mean,
they play fast.
Matt Stafford,
when your defense can play that fast,
they look good.
But when your defense can play that fast and get to Brady,
mm-hmm.
that tells you something.
Exactly.
That tells you
because
something.
he's quick to let it go.
And then offensively, they were just
And Bucks had
they were
some,
just
some
throwing
blocking
around the horn.
blocking.
Did
scheme
Deshaun
breakdowns.
Jackson? There was no one else in the picture frame with him on that.
Would he
Well,
just run into the
here's
end
the
zone
deal.
when he catches a bomb and not turn around? I
Right?
can't stand that about him.
But they missed him twice prior to that he was wide the hell.
Who's the
open.
coach?
McVay.
McVay.
He was wide the hell open 2 other times.
Did McVay run as fast as Deshaun Jackson?
Oh, I said he's gonna pull a hammy.
Right.
Shorty's
He didn't stretch first.
Nah, he's gonna pull a hammy.
It looks like that dude is in the weight room. The whole coaching staff with the team. Those dudes look fit.
You know what happened today? The Chiefs signed Josh Gordon.
Mm.
The NFL restated him. He went right to the Chiefs. But the Chiefs are 1-2, and so are the Steelers. What's
Wow.
going on there? I didn't see the Chiefs game.
Chiefs, they'll come around, but
Mhm.
the Steelers, it's time to hang him up. Big Ben can't move.
Really, I didn't see any of the
He
game.
can't move. Like he can't. He used to be able to escape a little bit, and he's
Right.
never been the fastest dude, but he used to be able to escape and make a play.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right now, he can't move.
I still think this. Look, the way Baltimore's playing in the AFC North, and Cleveland still got a little moxie to them. And hey, the Bengals, Joe Burrow, I mean, is back and looks smooth. I mean,
How about them
that's
Jaguars?
a competitive.
How about them Jaguars?
0-3. Trevor.
Packers 49ers. Sunday night football delivered.
Plain and simple. The Niners scored too quick.
Yeah, they did. They gave
They scored too quick.
they gave the Packers
Mhm.
too much time.
They,
It was like 37 seconds.
Forget the Packers. They gave the man
Right.
too much time.
The man who didn't want to come.
Would
Coming
you
off
rather have
season.
him over Brady?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So I think he has the toughness that Brady doesn't have.
They talked a lot about in the pregame his ability to, like, you talk about quarterbacks and how they throw, and these guys got to have special, certain technique. The best throwers have a
Right.
certain technique,
And then off technique throws.
his off technique stuff. I mean, it's a flick of the wrist, and it's 50 yards.
Mahomes has that
Yeah,
kind of ability
he
as
does.
well.
He does,
Yeah.
but I think he's the best to ever do it with that ability.
Yeah, he's next level with it.
All right.
49ers ain't bad either.
Nah,
I mean,
they're not.
Niners good too.
It was exciting to watch, though. Exciting to watch.
That could be. We'll see a rematch of that.
We
one.
might see that again come January, huh? Most surprising 3-0 team: Rams, Cardinals, Carolina, or Denver. I know where my vote is.
I'm gonna go with.
I'm going Carolina.
Carolina.
I was gonna go Denver.
Really?
I was gonna go
Okay.
Denver. And poor Teddy Bridgewater over there, who's been bounced around a little bit, but definitely Broncos.
I thought Brees gave him a lot of love.
Mm.
Mm.
And I appreciated hearing him
And how about Jameis?
say the words he said about him.
Well, he can see now. That's the thing. Cowboys just scored a touchdown, or they're down on the one. Cowboys are moving down the field. We got Monday Night Football. Eagles, Cowboys on ESPN Monday Night Football.
Whatever.
Let's go, Eagles.
Did the young man in Baltimore line up on the other side of the 50 and hit a damn field goal about 438
Mr.
yards?
Tucker.
66 yards.
And I think that's the number of straight field goals he's hit in the fourth quarter or overtime.
Wow.
I don't.
This
It's something
guy-
like that.
Any kicker for Washington would hit the upright and it's bouncing back out.
Hey,
This fool had enough on it. It bounced on the upright and then in.
right.
You know,
But-
usually
but
goes
not
doink.
in. Yeah, doink and back. It hit it, went up, and then even into the netting. I mean, and every poor Detroit fans. I mean, I feel you guys because, well, no, I don't because we've won Super Bowls. But the Lions
Right?
fans, there were more of their videos like he's not going to make this. This is a record by 4 yards.
Right?
And you see their video like he hits a crossbar, it's over, and they're like, oh, it's good.
Not so much on that one.
I
Huh?
wish we had that. Wow.
I mean, Krissy can get that. You got to let her know what you're trying to do. She can get that for
Oh,
you.
she's
But I
gonna pull
mean,
it up.
yeah, she is. Looking over some of these. Sorry, Detroit. Sorry, Detroit. The Browns are looking good. The Ravens, I mean, they escaped a couple times, but they're 2-1. The Colts are 0-3. The
Yikes.
Chargers are 2-1, and they're the ones who beat the Chiefs. The Saints are 2-1. I was a little concerned about them. with the
Chargers should be
quarterback
3-0.
change.
Chargers
they-
should be 3-0.
yeah, they
That
should.
Cowboy game they
The
blew.
Falcons took it to the Giants. The Giants are god awful. The Bengals are 2-1. The Steelers ain't looking good. Cardinals at 3-0. I don't think that surprises you two guys. The Jags suck. The Jets are putting up less than 7 points a game.
Oh, that poor kid.
They are putting.
Hey, those
They're
How many
killing
times did he get
top
sacked?
2 picks in the draft. And now I think the Jags will build around
Right.
around Trevor, and they'll be okay in a couple years. But the Jets, I mean, it's like Groundhog Day, man. It's like
It is. They're 0-3.
And your boy Sam Darnold's down there in Carolina getting it done.
Yeah, he is. The Dolphins are 1-2, but how about those Raiders? How about Chucky and the boys? Chucky's getting it done, ain't he? The Bucks are 2-1, Rams, blah, blah, blah. Vikings, they beat the Seahawks. Seahawks, they're 1-2. Go ahead, Coach. Is there anything to worry about in Seattle?
Maybe.
Maybe. Really?
Look, this ain't the Bucks. This ain't this ain't Tom Brady, and it's not Aaron Rodgers. Although I do like Russell Wilson, but Seattle's had an issue with their defense for the last few years, which is so anti-Seattle that we remember that their defense was what they were built on. But right now they got issues up there with that, and with the NFC West, the Rams and the Cardinals. It's going to be a little up, and the Niners. It's going to be tough.
I'm happy for the Cardinals. They're looking good.
Yeah.
Is it just me or more games coming down to a field goal as time expires? I swear I've seen.
Love it.
Every week I've seen multiple games.
And you got
second
home field advantage now in some stadiums, not ours.
You guys are big on that, and I think that there's something to that.
Yeah,
you finally got fans back.
Yeah, it's making it more fun, but it's also communications and hearing the calls and trying to do your audibles
or not hearing the calls if you're in the wrong stadium, right?
Exactly.
Coach O'Neill, you want to take the first college football bullet?
Hey, Tigers go down. First time they've lost an unranked opponent in a long time.
What's going on?
Cole made the call on Saturday night and said, "Woof, that was tough to watch."
Was it a home game?
No, they were up in Raleigh. They lost to the NC State.
That's
back in double overtime. Look, Clemson's got a great defense. Just offensively, that quarterback is not where he needs to be. Their running back, I believe, got hurt out for the year. This kid Shipley
hurt out for the year, and the kid that should be playing is up in Wisconsin.
So they're back to the transfer portal. Coach Turner. Tigers are in some trouble. Hopefully they can get to 10 wins and get a good bowl. But we'll see. But yeah, not so good. But we're going down to see them in a couple weekends. And
are you gonna have that suite?
And gonna catch a game. Cole, hook it up, Cole.
You're listening,
baby.
Cole.
Here we
go. All right, catered suite, please.
Yes,
the cream of the crop
preferably.
keeps rising. Alabama, Georgia, Penn State, and Oregon, and you get what you asked for. You're getting Cincinnati, Notre Dame this weekend, right?
Yes, sir.
Talked about last week.
That's trouble. That's trouble for the
I think Notre Dame.
Well, the Irish are a little banged up at the quarterback position, so we got to see what happens with that too.
All right. And Oklahoma, they're still winning, right?
They're winning, but barely, and they're also making calls. Poor Spencer Rattler.
Mr. Williams
throws one pick this weekend, and national television with you got Herb Street and the gang up there calling the game.
We want Caleb.
They were doing that, and they called it out. It's all over the social
all the
media.
Gonzaga kids are posting it,
and Herb
posted it on their story.
Herb Street talked about it and said who they're talking about is the backup quarterback and true freshman Caleb Williams. So,
all right now,
baby, a former guest of the podcast.
Guest. They leave here and they do some things, don't they?
Yes,
sure
they do.
Yes, they do. But Florida, they got the 2 quarterback thing going on. I think they took care of Tennessee over the weekend. Let's talk Ryder Cup. Let's talk some golf.
USA.
The U.S. wins by giving Europe.
Coach.
They gave Europe the worst loss ever with a young U.S. crew. Talk to me, Coach O'Neill.
Steve, what's it called? A molly what?
Molly-whopped them.
Molly-whopped.
Yeah,
they were saying we need to get to 20. We want to get to 20.
I thought it was 19 and a half or something.
20, but that was the goal. They said if we get to 20, we win this thing.
Look,
and they got to 19 and got the dub.
Steve Stricker, good golfer, great career, right? He's not the names that we think of Tiger Woods or Lee Trevino and Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer, all that. But Steve Stricker had a great career, led that team, and was emotional at the end of it. And he was talking that this group of young golfers and Team USA Golf is locked and loaded for a while. DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Justin Thomas, Tony Finau. Who am I missing? I mean, Colin Morikawa. Like, these young guys are Jordan Spieth. I mean, the list. Who's Dustin Johnson? I mean, they are locked and loaded and all young and all motivated and had fun. Even Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau were cordial and having a good time together, and they can't stand each other.
And what was interesting is,
I mean, Europe was shocked.
We picked the European type of course to play as well.
Yes, up there in Wisconsin, at Whistling Straits. Yep,
it's a links type course.
Yeah.
So that was surprising that we went in that route with our opportunity to choose the course.
Yeah.
And Smacked him.
I
Showed our
mean,
tails, huh?
Europe had no idea what hit him. I don't
did the
think
damn thing.
I don't think they picked the right team. I think outside of Sergio Garcia and Ian Poulter and some of these other golfers, I mean, John Rahm, number one golfer in the world, obviously, but
got beat.
They got beat.
I thought what was pretty interesting to me too was to see, how much these guys are into the cup,
the Ryder Cup, because they're so programmed, Steve, to be individual for their whole lives, and the chance. It's like playing for your college team, your college golf. You get an opportunity to lean on others, right? To be a part of that team.
To see like McIlroy crying,
he meant a lot.
Like he cried, like national TV. So these guys are human. Like you got to see some humanity in terms of. These guys don't just care about just themselves when they play in these opportunities to play against other countries.
Yeah,
there's a lot riding on it, and it means something to them.
Yeah,
and that was never want to see a man crying, but it also
shows you respect it.
Big respect. I have a big respect,
and it means, Steve, a lot. I think growing up in Europe, whether you're in England or Scotland or Ireland or Spain or France, like the Ryder Cup means. For a while, meant more to those golfers than it did to the U.S. golfers.
I think it still does.
They kicked our ass for probably the last 2 decades, and all of a sudden, U.S. flipped the switch.
I think it still does.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, agreed.
Let's move on to Major League Baseball. We have a situation here that seems to always come up. Yankees, Red Sox are fighting it out, and I believe the Yankees won last night, right?
They did.
Yeah. So
in Fenway.
What are we looking like?
Man, that would be I've said it each week when we get to this segment. How cool would a 1-game wild card Yankees Red Sox and what network is going to fight their tails off to get it?
Someone's going to drop $50 million on the table.
Right.
And say, give me that game.
The advertising and give me that game.
Take them both from home and put them on a neutral field.
Yep.
You know what? Let's do the Field of Dreams. Let's put them in the cornfield.
Oh, baby.
And let's go for it, right?
That would be cool.
That would be sick.
Hey, look, you can't say the Cardinals aren't giving themselves a fighting chance. Woo. They won 16 in a row. And like you said, the White Sox are doing their thing, right?
Yep.
Last time you heard their name. Obviously, we know what's going on out west with the Dodgers and the Giants, but the Cardinals are giving themselves a chance winning 16 in a row. Are they going to make the big dance? Because right now they're not in it just yet, right?
That's how World Series we've seen over the last decade are won, where teams just going on a heater at the end. The Nats had to do it in 2019. They had to win.
They forgot how to do it this year.
Well, they traded all the guys that remembered.
Right.
That's why they forgot.
They
so these young guys don't know any better, but we still got Soto. But that's how you see it. These teams go on heaters. They might have to get into that wild card, and they're just playing the do or die type of baseball every single night. And good things happen where other teams are on cruise control and we got the division we're going to get the 4 seed in this. And then they take it for granted.
It's March Madness, right? You got to get hot at the right time.
Get hot at the right time.
Exactly.
All right. We got to talk about it, baby, because training camp begins tomorrow in the NBA. First preseason game, Lakers, Brooklyn on Saturday. But here's the problem.
I won't be watching.
Here's the problem. I didn't write this into your script. Kyrie's not going to show up to media day, he says.
He can't show up to media day.
There's
no not going to show up.
Oh.
He didn't show up today.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
He's been told he can't. He won't get vaccinated. Right now, he can't play at Brooklyn. Right now, he's probably limited to playing only on the road.
Wow.
Go get you the
76ers hope.
So then, did you see today David Letterman?
No.
Was at the media day for Brooklyn?
I didn't know that, no.
And he starts asking KD, why do they call you KD? Like, it was the weirdest interview I've ever seen in my life.
No, I haven't seen that.
Check it out.
I'm going to have to.
And I don't get it, but whatever. It was weird.
NBA's back, baby.
Dak fumbles in the end zone, and Philly picks it up. This is going to be a shootout today, and this is just that. Who's the quarterback?
Let's go, Eagles.
Who's the quarterback in Philly?
Jalen
Hurts. He just threw an interception in the end zone.
Great.
And that's why Cowboys were backed up.
Dak's my starting quarterback this week.
Well, he just fumbled in the end zone. Hey, how about this? The 76ers hope Ben Simmons reports to camp. They're barking up the wrong tree. What do you say, Coach O'Neal? while you're watching football. The people are waiting to hear from you.
I told you I'm starting Dak this week.
Well, but
I got the win. I got the
you
win.
Screwed up.
Tell me about Ben Simmons again.
The 76ers hope Ben Simmons reports to camp.
Poor Ben Simmons.
And of course, Doc Rivers saying, I think we can win a title with Ben. They're blowing smoke right now. They're just hoping that he stays.
But I think they can.
He ain't going to be there.
I know he's not because of everything that's going on.
Right.
But enough about him not being able to be a shooter.
Right.
He's a basketball player. He makes plays.
Right. Throw it off the backboard. He'll go get it.
I've always thought that a coach is supposed to figure out what he has and how he makes it work for his team.
Right.
So why does everyone make such this big deal over him not being a shooter?
I don't know. Don't look at me.
I think it's the dumbest.
I'm going to design something around the talent I have.
I'm just tired of all these Sunday quarterbacks who've never coached,
who
really don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Shut the hell up.
It's the media, right?
The media.
Right.
You're killing an opportunity for a franchise that hasn't been there in the longest, and now you're breaking it apart because you're talking about the kid can't shoot. The kid's a damn good basketball player.
You know what I forgot about? I forgot DeRozan's in Chicago. DeRozan's in Chicago with Levine, right?
Levine,
Vucevic,
old
and is Lonzo up there?
Old Rose. Oh, Chicago's got a chance. They're gonna be good.
Yeah, they got a chance. Miami got a chance too.
Miami has a better chance, I think.
Right. It's gonna look good, but if Kyrie can't play, well, do they lose anything if Kyrie doesn't play?
A headache.
You still want KD to snatch him up?
No,
why do they call him KD, by the way?
His first name is Kevin.
Last name
is Durant.
That's a Montrose Christian guy, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Montrose Christian ain't there no more.
No.
It's like condos.
It's condos.
Some nice condos.
Very nice.
In front of Chuck E. Cheese.
Very nice.
Condos with a K. Condos with a K and
the
doors. KD.
Brooklyn can win without Kyrie.
Right.
But my thing right now is Kyrie's got to, because I love him. I think he's a hell of a player.
Mm-hmm.
I love some of the things that he stands for outside of basketball. One being, as we talked about earlier, the women's game.
Doesn't he like burn Fruit Loops in the locker room or something though? Like sage or something?
But my thing for him is stop being the distraction.
Who's the dude in Major League that would burn the
the sage to get my man the voodoo?
Joe Boo. Joe Boo.
But stop being the distraction.
Right.
You told KD you guys were gonna ride this thing into the sun. Well, let's ride it into the sun.
Speak your truth.
Thank you. Enough said. I ain't gonna say enough after that one.
All right, Krissy, let's go to our last break and we'll be back with the final word. Connect with us socially on Instagram and Facebook at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, on YouTube, just search Turner and O'Neill, then subscribe. And of course, you can visit our website at www.turnerandoneil.com.
Become a friend of the program. Friendship contributions start at just $25. Each contribution helps to fuel Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. To find out more or make your contribution, go to www.turnerandoneil.com and click Become a Friend.
The final word is brought to you by Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Call 301-761-2278 or visit raypcruz.com. Ray P. Cruz, mortgages intelligently.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill.
The 2-minute drill.
Ladies and gentlemen, back with us as he will be each week during the football season, we have Mr. Joey T with his 2-minute drill.
What's good, everybody? How y'all doing today?
Joey T, it's you. It's another week in the NFL. It's another week of fantasy football, points, stats, all that good stuff. Numbers that I cannot interpret like you can, and none of us here in the studio. So we leave it up to you. Joey T, talk to me about your fantasy standouts for the week.
Well, first and foremost, I actually don't play in any leagues that involve kickers, but I want to give a shout out to Justin Tucker for that 66-yard field goal. My boy Hansey is a huge Ravens fan, and I know he was hyped. He told me to mention it, and I had to give him a shout-out, man. I mean, I know from fantasy purposes, generally 50-yard field goals plus are big points. I don't even know if they have a category for 60. They should have a category for 6+ points in fantasy. You know what I'm saying?
Joey, let me ask you this.
Yards.
Let me ask you this, Joey. Was he on the other side of the 50 when he kicked that one?
dog, it's crazy. I can't even. We can't, like, as a Washington football fan, Dustin Hopkins can't even kick it over 50 yards.
Right.
So, like, having a guy that can nail him at post 60. Like, come on, man. That's a cheat code right there. I couldn't believe that. My mouth was just open. I was in awe.
So,
it was amazing.
So somebody hit XXYYB and made sure he hit that field goal?
Oh yeah. They definitely put the up, down, left, right code in there, like, it was crazy.
So shout out to Justin. He made a 66-yard field goal, and the Ravens won that game. There's a lot of last-second field goals, it seems, that are deciding games these days. So hopefully whoever has a league where field goals and kicking counts, they're getting their points. Talk to me about the fellas out there on the gridiron who impressed you this week.
A couple of guys that I thought looked good. Zach Moss. Everybody was down on him week 1. He was benched for non-injury. Kind of nobody really knows exactly why he was inactive, but I actually thought he's the best running back in the league. He's actually the cousin of our boy Santana Moss. And I thought he was really talented coming out, so I got him in a bunch of leagues, of course. The bloodlines are strong for me. But he had 13 carries for 60 yards on the ground and 3 receptions for 31 yards and a touchdown. It's an 18-point fantasy, dude. That's strong, man. That's a good day. So I think the team. I watched him run with my own 2 eyes against my football team, and he was the better of the 2 backs on the field.
Okay.
Kendrick Bourne from the New England Patriots. He had been in San Francisco. He's only 25, and he reminds me of that wide receiver signing, free agent signing that Bill Belichick normally knocks out of the park. They cannot draft a wide receiver to save their lives, but they bring in these guys from other teams, and they catch on, and they get new life. And he had 6 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown. He had been quiet the first 2 weeks of the season, but he's a guy that I think is going to be a part of that offense moving forward. And lastly, Dawson Knox, one of my favorite up-and-coming rising star tight ends from the Buffalo Bills. I'm naming a bunch of guys against my boys, but he had 4 receptions for 49 yards and a touchdown. He's 24 years old. He's been getting better every year, and I actually think he's probably the second or third best pass-catching option on that team. So I think he's a good tight end to monitor and grab if he's on your waiver wire.
All right, Joey. Every week we got to do it. We got to go to this page right here. Who underperformed?
I mean, so this is the thing about fantasy, right? Like, you don't want to put a whole lot of faith in rookies. Sure, there's a couple rookies that are going to show out. Jamar Chase is looking like a beast, but generally, rookie quarterbacks take time to acclimate. Wide receivers, tight ends for sure, even running backs. So Michael Carter for the New York Jets, everybody thought was going to have a big year. They thought he was going to be the dude there. 9 carries for 24 yards on the ground and 2 catches for 5 yards. That's not getting it done. It's not winning you fantasy games right there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, if you have him on the squad, he's got to be on your bench until he shows signs of life, right?
Right.
These other 2 are going to hurt me a little bit. Allen Robinson, my dude, for the Chicago Bears, 2 catches, 27 yards. He has not done anything. Now, it's not really his fault, right? Like, he's had Andy Dalton, and now he's got Justin Fields, a rookie. Like I said, depending on rookies, unfortunately, collateral damage would be the wide receivers for a rookie quarterback maybe will underproduce. But he's a dude who a lot of people drafted as a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and unfortunately, he is not living up to expectations, be it his fault or not. The fantasy points are not coming.
Right.
And lastly, Jonnu Smith, another one of my favorite sleeper tight ends. 1 catch, 4 yards. I think he had a costly fumble or something along those lines. But he's not again, he has a rookie quarterback throwing on the ball. And he had some bumps and bruises in this recent game. But he's a guy that some people may have as their tight end 1, and that's not good enough. So, hopefully these guys can bounce back a little bit. But as of now, they're tough starts.
All right. I need some inside information here, Joey. Who should we be looking at that you might not ordinarily look at? Who's impressing you in terms of you might want to pick this guy up or get a steal here?
So this dude has been in the league for a little while, and he kind of came out of nowhere this week. But Tyler Conklin, the tight end for the Minnesota Vikings, he was actually the number one scoring tight end on the league in fantasy purposes. He had 7 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown. A lot of people may shy away because he's not a household name, or they probably haven't even heard his name in the past. But that offense is putting up numbers, man. Kirk Cousins is throwing the ball. And, I mean, everybody projected Irv Smith to be a fantasy producer going into the season. He's hurt. This dude, Tyler Conklin, man, if he keeps getting these targets and everybody keeps double-teaming Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, I think he has a chance to eat, man. So if other people in your league are shy from grabbing him, I'd say pick him up, see where it goes.
Okay.
Another guy, Giovanni Bernard. This dude's been around for a while. He's in Cincinnati forever. Now, he's going to be a big PPR back. He had 0 rushes. He had 0 carries. He had 9 catches for 51 yards and a touchdown. Giovanni Bernard's a really, really, really good pass-catching running back. And Tom Brady he's like the James White for Tom Brady right now. I mean, he's the best pass-catching back. I think they're going to start implementing him more. And we know Ronald Jones can't catch, and Fournette's only so-so in that department. So if you're in a PPR league, Giovanni Bernard is a guy you should have on your bench, and it's probably worth the flex start most weeks. And lastly, my guy, my main crush from last year and this year, Brian Edwards from the Las Vegas Raiders. He's probably on the back end of somebody's team somewhere. You might be able to throw a little trade out there for him. People are starting to know his name a little bit, but he had 3 catches for 89 yards. It's not a monster stat line, but this dude is a beast. When I watched his college tape coming out, I thought he was nasty. I thought he was going to be an alpha receiver in the league. I think he's developing a little slower than we might like, but he showed some clutch catches yesterday, and he's only going to get better throughout the year. Once he gains more and more trust, those secondaries are going to be covering Darren Waller extra hard. We have Henry Ruggs stretching the field. I think he's going to eat, and I think now's the time to get him for cheap.
All right, Joey. What are you thinking about Tampa Bay and New England on Sunday Night Football this week? Our boy Tom Terrific is going back home. What do you think?
If you got to look at the information we have, right? I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little bit of a bloodbath. I think Tom Brady's going to go out there and just go remind them all what his name is. They're the Super Bowl winning champions, and the New England Patriots are struggling to win games right now. So with a rookie quarterback, a defense that's only so. Oh man, I think it's going to be rough. I think it's going to be rough for the old Bill Belichick-led squad. But it's such is life, right?
Right, Joey. Same time next week, my man.
Yes, sir. I'll talk to you then.
All right. What I didn't say is Joey T is with Capitol Grill, Washington, D.C. He's our fantasy guru, and you know what? This guy knows football. Thanks, Joey. We'll see you next week.
All right. Good luck this week, everybody. Take care.
All right, fella. Before we move forward, I want to say thanks to Joey T for appearing last week. And of course, this week you just heard from Joey T not too long ago. Look, this is a fantasy guru, folks. You want to listen to Joey T. He's got some nuggets that you don't know about. You better listen to what my man has to say. Let's wrap this episode up. We invite you to become a friend of the program. To do so, go to www.turnerandoneal.com, click Become a Friend. We'd like to thank our Season 3 friends, Thomas Alford, Melissa Alshab, Margie Billings, Adam Cross, Chelsea Cross, Paula Cross, Lynn Johnson, Erica O'Neill, Justin O'Neill, Sean Parker, Amy, Dan, Noah, and Ellie Richard, Kathleen Talbot, Andrea Toronas, that's Joey T's wife, and Timothy Whittier. Become a donor, sponsor, or partner by going to turnerandoneal.com and clicking Media Kit. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube by simply going to turnerandoneal.com and clicking any of the social media icons. You know what I realized this season? Y'all haven't heard me say you can find us on Spotify and all that because they're listening. So they already know where to find us. I don't have to tell them about YouTube because you're watching us. Hello, YouTube people. So can you say hello to the people? Turner, you giving them the YouTube eyes? All right, my man. Before we sign off, we want to thank all of you who are listening and viewing. This podcast is fueled by you, and we appreciate your support. Gentlemen, you are the TNO and Turner and O'Neill, so thank you. Thanks to Coach Ryan Kurtis from the PLL's champion Chaos Lacrosse Club. They are the champs, and we thank him for joining us today. Thanks to DJ Krissy, our engineer, who got her nails done this weekend. She changed her hair just about every week. She's looking good. She makes us look good as well. Coach O'Neill, your final thoughts.
Thanks to Coach Kurtis for joining us on the program today. Thank you to Krissy. Thank you to Steve. Thank you, Kurtis. Great week ahead. Great time of year, everybody. We're getting October. You got hoops starting. You got hockey. You got college football. You got NFL. Golf just ended, but
it's fire pit weather, baby.
Yes, it is. And those start working on your Halloween costumes, because all our fans, I want to see those little kids out there having a great time on Halloween at the end of this month.
All right. DJ Krissy, I'm gonna go to you.
Man, good episode today.
We
Coach
packed in a
Kurtis,
lot.
Awesome job. Awesome win. Halloween's coming up. This is my favorite time of year, so now I get to start planning my
Are we
decorations.
gonna have an episode where we come in costume?
Not me.
I will. Yeah.
Krissy, you should. You and Coach O'Neill.
Buckaroo twins and chaps.
I'm not doing chops.
I'm not doing chaps.
Cling, cling, cling,
Just some
cling.
click clacks.
Some click clacks.
Yeah,
Spurs.
because the
Spurs.
camera only gets like chest up.
This is a PG-13 show, sir.
Yeah, if I stood up.
This is a PG-13 show, sir.
Watch.
Look, sir, keep it together. All right, KIT, keep it together.
KIT.
Best
KD.
season
KD.
ever.
KIT.
Well, Krissy, we want to see what we don't even want to know the costume. We want to be surprised. Wear a costume, Coach O'Neill. Are you in on a costume?
KD, I got it. Keep down. Stay down.
Oh God, I don't. Krissy, are you done?
All right,
he's
she's
taking
done.
over your time.
Yes.
All right, Coach Turner, your final word, sir.
Thanks for another great Mental Health Monday. Glad to be back here in the studio with everyone. Another great guest, Casey. Kudos to you for bringing Mr. Kurtis on. He was awesome. Keep bringing on champions in sport and life, champions who are ambassadors of our next generation. So it's been great. Can't wait to see what's next. I'm getting excited. Fingers crossed this thing keeps rolling in the right way. November 8th, can't get here any sooner. Ready to get these dudes up on the court, have a little fun, and just excited to see what we got coming next here with Take a TO.
Here's something I may have said on the show before, and I don't know if you guys know this. Coach Turner might know this. I have never seen a game at Gonzaga.
Never?
Nope.
Oh, we got to make that happen.
I was coaching for one point, and then I'm behind the mic, but I got to get to a game.
Yep.
Do I get the VIP treatment?
Oh, no doubt.
All right.
No doubt.
The hot dog's still good?
Hot dogs are damn good.
All right.
Cheeseburgers are good.
All right.
French fries.
I know.
Popcorn.
Look, I know one on it.
Corinna gonna make you buy it all up. Couple t-shirts.
That I already own. That's your mama for you.
She gonna push it.
You know what I did do? And I've said this before. Them girls maybe buy some of them chocolate bars during
the chocolate
madness.
bars.
They're good too. I got the almonds. I got the
That's
almonds.
That's the
No,
old
you gotta
school.
get the caramel ones.
I like the Rice Krispie one.
With the almonds in them? We're talking about chocolate bars. Make sure y'all do a fundraiser. I'll buy a box. I swear I'll buy a box.
Done.
I want those. And then what, $2, $1?
I think $1 a bar.
Well, how many boxes?
Stop talking about food.
I don't know,
I'm hungry.
50?
Let's go.
I ain't buying 50. I ain't dropping
60.
50.
I think it's 60.
I'll buy like a quarter box.
Nah, you already committed. You're
I'll
on
buy a
video
quarter
right
box.
now. You just said a box.
Krissy, can you edit that out? Can you edit that out? A small box. A small. Where are the turtles? No one sells the turtles
machine
anymore.
Is broken.
No.
Remember the turtles?
Yes.
Those were good.
They
I
were.
like the turtles. In a little canister?
Yeah.
We're talking about turtles.
So, all right, before we go to Casey.
Please. We already went to Casey, didn't we?
No, he's got to give it. Oh no, you got the quote.
I
Yeah,
got the
that's
quote.
what we're trying to get to. You guys keep
Where
talking
you
about
gotta
food.
go? Where do you gotta go?
I'm starving now. Listen to you guys.
Go get him a chocolate bar. Give him a
She got-
Snickers.
she
You're
got
not
that
yourself when you
All
don't
right,
have a Snickers.
Favorite Halloween candy.
Good question.
That is a good question.
Next week
give me
on your starting five.
Snickers. Or
Snickers?
Twizzlers.
Krissy.
Oh, probably either Twix or the cookies and cream Hershey's.
I mess with Twix.
What's the
I love me a Snickers. However, what is it? The 100,000? No, the
100 grand.
100 grand is pretty good too, but
100
not Snickers
I
all the
forgot
way.
about
Reese's
those.
Buttercups
And the
are
Milky
good.
Way, no, Milky Way is a fake Snickers
Milky Way wins every
Milky
day.
Whatever,
Way.
not over
No, not over
Snickers.
Milky Way
Snickers.
is
No
so
way.
good.
No,
Snickers.
not
You
even
must
close.
be kidding.
I
It's
will
not
take
even-
a Three Musketeer over
No.
Snickers.
No.
Oh, Krissy, watch your mouth.
Milky Way might be worse than a Three Musketeer.
It is.
They're both-
No.
Milky Way is
I like
worse.
Three Musketeer and Milky Way better.
No, the Snickers bites back.
Yes,
Come on now.
See, I don't want my candy to try to bite me, so you lost me.
No, Snickers bites back. The Snickers is where it's at, Krissy.
Snickers is.
And they did me no favors when they
You
made
went
the
the wrong
extra
way.
big
Give
Snickers.
me my Reese's Cups though.
I recently began to like Reese's Pieces. I don't like the cups,
Oh,
but
I
the
love
Oh
pieces.
Reese's
no,
Pieces.
the cups. Put the cups in the refrigerator. Let them get a little chill. Ooh, yes.
Reese's
too.
Buttercups.
Yes.
Reese's
Do we need a new
Buttercups.
segment for candies?
Why not?
Twizzlers.
You know what you need to try?
I do like. Hold on. Candy corn.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like candy corn.
Yes. I
Ooh.
love
This the
candy
this
corn.
All right,
this the
let's get to the
licorice man over
Oh,
here.
I don't
Yeah,
like
Twizzlers,
licorice.
Twizzlers.
Licorice is good. Well, no, Twizzlers are good, but black licorice.
Zambuca tastes like black
Black
Twizzlers.
Yeah.
They have black licorice.
Anyway,
Not
let's
bad.
get some
And
quote.
Fireball tastes like cinnamon.
All right now. All right now.
Where's the shot?
I'll do some Grand Marnier though.
Grand
Obviously.
Marina.
My man called it Grand Marnier. That's what he called it.
My coach calls it the Grand Marina.
He swore he was correct.
Grand
Grand
Marina.
Marnier. All right, look, here's my quote. The extent of the struggle determines the extent of the growth. The obstacle is an advantage, not adversity. The enemy is any perception that prevents us from seeing this. Remember, the obstacle is your advantage. It's not adversity, because that's where you do all the learning. Krissy, pull the plug.
Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill would like to thank our advertisers, our premier partner, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage, our partners, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, Insurance Alliance Group LLC, Marquise Evans of Keller Williams Capital Properties, our sponsors, O'Neill Development LLC, Next Level Lacrosse, A Squared Home and Office Solutions, Collins Funeral Home, and Peace Players International. And our donors, Winsight Media and Gene the Barber, now Max Life Barber and Salon. Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill is produced by Kurtis Cross and engineered by DJ Krissy. All material is the exclusive property of the podcast and may not be copied, rebroadcast, or used in any way without the written consent of the podcast. The views, ideas, and commentary of podcast guests are solely their own and not necessarily endorsed by the podcast. You may submit questions, podcast ideas, and commentary to turneroneillpodcast@gmail.com. No compensation is offered for submitted material. Should we choose to use your idea, comment, or question, you agree to your likeness, social media identity, and/or information being used on the podcast. Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill is recorded weekly and distributed via Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and more than 15 podcast platforms in total. You can also view Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill weekly on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest episode drops. Some portions of the podcast may be pre-recorded. Join us socially on Facebook and Instagram at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, and on YouTube. Search Turner and O'Neill and subscribe. Our website is www.turnerando'neill.com. Advertising opportunities are available.